Catherine Geslain-Lanéelle, thank you so much for joining us today. And you have just been talking on the panel on resilience, food and agriculture and learning from the energy crisis with an esteemed panel. You are the Director for Strategy and Policy Analysis, the DG Agri, the European Commission. And I wanted to know what your main message was, because I had a lot of talk around conversation being important. But does it drive change?
So yes, I think it drives change. We need to have conversation and work together collectively. This is a collective challenge and we will find solution together. But as I hear from your question, this is also about action, not just conversation. For me, this is important to this was important during the forum to say how I see the role of policymakers, in setting direction, providing incentives to farmers, providing also funding to the key economic players of the food chain to make sure that, the investment are going into the right direction, providing also support with training, sometimes also making legislation so as to enable the change. But at the end of the day, for me, the key message is that those who are going to deliver, meaning the key economic players of the food chain, starting with the farmers, are the ones who are going to make the changes. So it's important that we do that with them. We work with them and not against them.
There have been voices that will say we need less legislation. We need less policy down from the top. We need a bottom-up, literally from the soil approach. And what do you say within that debate?
I think it's a good question. It's an important one, which is what is, at least for me, based on my experience as a policymaker, it's always important to look at, how you use the policy makes you have at your disposal to make sure that you provide, the best enabling environment for those who have to make the transformation and the changes. You need to help them and not to create obstacles and hurdles. They already have obstacles and hurdles, so you need not to add on that. I agree with you that this is also important to recognize that many innovations have started, from the ground, so meaning that it's not only a top-down approach. It's also a bottom-up approach, where farmers, many millions of farmers, have already innovated, looking at how organic farmers are working, but also those implementing agroecology, regenerative agriculture. They have already made things changing. So we need to see, as policymakers, how we can scale it up.
One of the parts of the debate that came up was almost a refocus on innovation, particularly with regard to technology. I think you were candid with the forum to say that maybe there needs a little bit of a shift in mindset from the policymakers in the European Union there.
Yeah, I think technology, innovation, it's critical, it's important. And we have many policies to support that in the European Union. But I think it's worth saying that we need to also make sure that it drives, support, assistance in terms of sustainability. It's not just innovation and technology for the sake of innovation. It's about, providing solutions to those who want to implement new business models, new practices, to make sure that, we help them.
And you had speakers from the Danish farming community. I think they were in the forum this morning, saying we're ready, we're willing, but we need to be incentivized. And the other message that I heard very clearly was that the future is in the soil. So perhaps a comment on both of those.
So very good to hear, and that's what makes me optimistic also. Very good to hear that farmers, and I knew that, I'm passionate about farmers and agriculture, and I can see that, you know, they are willing and ready to change. They need, of course, to be supported, so that's why we have also our common agricultural policy. Soil is critical. I think that over the last decades we may have forgotten how important soil and soil health is. So we were saying we need innovation, technology, yes, but we need also to be back to basics. Agronomy and soil are critical, and farmers know that.
So finally, what will you take from the forum today? What did you really hear? What resonated with you, Catherine, and you will take back to the Commission?
I will take back the fact that, first of all, you know, the awareness and the sense of emergency is there, but we are, let's say, asked as policymakers also to provide support with the right policy mix. So looking at how incentives, legislation, funding, you know, can help. So we will certainly look at that when we are going to start preparing the future common agricultural policy. And what I've heard also is that over the world, we are all facing similar challenges. Of course, there is a great diversity, but talking about farming, here we face climate change, the biodiversity loss crisis. We have also a generation renewal problem. So we need also to join forces, share best practices, and cooperate at all levels.
Thank you so much, Catherine. Enjoy the rest of the forum.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.